All right. Questions for our coach? Anybody?
Game tied at 32. They make a big run there. You call a timeout. You lean into the guys there. What's the message in that timeout?
Pay attention to the game plan and attention to detail. They missed some guys tonight, and the other guys were pretty much shooters that we wanted to make play inside the three-point line. They got way too many open looks. We missed some switches, didn't switch up aggressively, and they came off getting too many clean looks. And so that was a message. Guard your man. We know what they're trying to do, the looks that they're trying to get. And to their credit, we bounced back and finished out the quarter well, but also carried it into the second half.
Yeah, what did you see out there that you liked after the timeout?
Physicality went up. It was too much separation, whether it was on or off ball, and we got better at that in the second quarter. We also watched those clips at halftime and improved that in the second half. So just a little lapse, a little of lack of awareness on who the shooters were, and they came off too clean. They missed some early in the game where we were like, those looks are too good for these guys, the high-level shooters, and so it burned us in that stretch there. But we got our physicality back, read it up and switched up much more physically and took them off those shots. So credit to our guys. They bounced back to finish out the half and then carried it on to the third quarter.
And things you've talked about recently, pitch aheads, the ball movement in general, I mean, those things, it seems like this was a pretty good game as far as that was concerned.
Yeah, it felt like it. The Atlanta game being the outlier in our last 5 to 6, it feels like we're getting better at that. We want to play faster, want to take advantage of some cross matches early, get some easy baskets, and not be playing against set defense, let alone a zone all the time. And so that's been an emphasis and an improvement over the last 5 or so games. And I think tonight was another step in the right direction.
And obviously the zone was a big thing that we've talked about.
Yeah.
It seemed like early on you had that same Marcus in the middle, cutting behind him, baseline cutters and stuff like that.
Yeah, we like Marcus there as well as Jalen and Jason, but we want him to be a decision maker in the middle. Flashing there, finding guys high, low, or weak side, and had some open shots and made enough to get him out of the zone. But we really want to lean on our defense to get stops and get out and run and not have to play against a set defense or a zone every time. And so I think we are getting better against the zone. We've seen it quite a bit, and we knew Miami runs the third most zone, so we were going to see it quite a bit tonight.
Going back to the 32-32 tie for a moment, and you guys did respond. I mean, how do you like your resiliency in those situations lately? Again, the Atlanta game being the outlier.
Yeah, I think we have stemmed the tide at times and fought off some runs much better lately. Now you'd like us to be perfect, and that's what we're searching for, where we come out and don't have those lulls. We came out really aggressive initially, and then they got loose. I think at times, when it's going too easy, we let up a little bit. And so I want to keep our foot on the gas as far as that, and not let them get back in the game. But to your point, it felt like Marcus got a steal there. He really set the tone defensively, and then we got about 3 or 4 stops in a row where they had to call a timeout. So good response from them. I got on quite hard in that timeout, and it was just some small attention to detail things with their personnel. And so we'd like not to have that lapse, but it was good that we bounced back the way we did.
Last 4 wins are all blowout wins. I guess, what does that maybe do for the team's psyche in terms of just seeing lopsided scores like that?
It shows us if we continue to guard the way we have been, we're going to have a good chance every night. And then when the offense gets to playing faster and you're making shots and sharing the ball, it gets contagious. And that's where the end up result is. Obviously high scoring night, but keeping guys in the 90s, as I mentioned before the game, is always a goal of ours. So doing it on both ends results in these big wins instead of having to grind out, close margins when we're not shooting it as well. So it works both ways. Defense turns into offense, and that ignites us. And I think the ball movement, the pace, the kick aheads have all been contagious lately.
You've said at least a couple of times that when you guys get healthy, you want to kind of go deeper into the bench and use a lot of guys. Only 8 guys in the rotation tonight. What caused you to cut down the rotation a little bit and go with 8?
Josh and Grant were playing really well with the second unit. They came in and at times, if somebody's not rolling there, we'll look to something to start the second quarter. They were both playing really well. And Grant had missed some wide open shots, but he was pretty physical and switching well on defense. So we like what they did to finish out the first quarter, and that's kind of the decision making at that point. If that unit or somebody specifically is not playing as well, we'll go to our ninth guy as far as that, but they were both doing a good job there.
And then Dennis's numbers are very different, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. What have you seen differently from him when he is coming off the bench, and what can he kind of change around to fix that?
Yeah, I mean, it's lack of opportunity. You know, when guys are out, obviously he has the ball much more in his hands. So, you know, he's been in with Jason, Jalen most of the time, or you know, some of the starters as well. So it's not going to be in his hands as much as when Jalen was out or Marcus out the last 4 games ago, where he really played well. So the minutes are going to get cut a little bit, and then the opportunities as far as that. But we still want him to be aggressive and pick his spots, and we know how important it is for him to come in and be that third threat off the bench. And you know, he's had some nights where he hasn't had the same opportunities, but he's really playing the right way, unselfish, still trying to pick his spots. And so more so than anything, it's a lack of opportunity with other guys rolling. Marcus played really well. Jason and Jalen have had high scoring nights, and so it's just shaved down his minutes and attempts to some extent.
Thanks.
Wrap it up right there. Thank you,
Thank you.
Coach.
Good.